Good morning, everybody. This is Lady Soul, and I want to wish everybody a happy morning. We have been on YouTube building content and giving out a lot of valuable information. Um, I want to give a little backstory to some of the videos that we're going to be listening to today. I want to say congratulations to our new Dallas City Manager, uh, Mrs. Tolbert. I am so glad that we have someone uh, that is part of the diversity uh, in a position so powerful. Um, I'm going to give a quick backstory about myself, and then I'm going to try to cover as much as I can, and then we'll continue to listen to these different entities on my YouTube page. Um, I came here in uh, Texas. I think it was, I'm so horrible with time, after I lost my son. So I think I arrived here in 2016. Don't hold me to dates. I'm horrible with dates. And when I initially came, the first thing I did, I decided I would educate myself, reinvent myself, because I am a woman of a certain age. I attended Richmond College, and also I was in a training program through Goodwill Corporate. While I was there, I received certifications in computer operations, financial planning, and then I got promoted to being a tax advocate. I quickly learned, because of my strong personality as a black woman with locks, that the Southern Belles over there did not really care for that. And the women that looked like me, they were intimidated by that. So I got a promotion to be an assistant to the tax supervisor over there. So I was her direct assistant. I organized her office. I had the office set up in a way where when we were preparing taxes, we had our filing system in place. And actually, I became the quality and intake interview specialist. I'm not tooting my horn. I'm just giving you guys a backstory of what it's been like for me in Texas. And I got promoted by the finance manager, and they made me the quality and intake specialist. So I got my own office. So I was the first person that when people came in to get their taxes done, they would come to me first. I do the interview, make sure they had all their documents in hand, and then they go into the tax preparation room. But I can also do taxes as well. So I think I got a little too strong over there, and I got an opportunity to meet the president of Dallas, Goodwill Dallas Corporate. He came down and had lunch with a group of us one day. Very older gentleman, very, very kind and simple. And he sat across from me, we all had lunch. You had other employees there, and he was impressed with me, I guess. So I invited him to come into the computer class, because I was an assistant also to the computer instructor at that time. And so he was impressed with our conversation. So he said he would come down and visit my classroom. And when I say my classroom, because the instructor over there, she designated clients that had disabilities and that weren't that computer savvy. I worked with them direct in a workshop so that she could continue with her other students that were, on task and on level, and that class could move progressive. So as you see, I did a lot of things over at corporate Goodwill Dallas. I also got experience in the workforce department, and the workforce department was responsible for taking those clients that came through Goodwill Dallas, helping to find them jobs. They had all kind of resources. Well, my mentor was the finance manager, and he eventually moved me over into his side of the office, and I started learning how to upload files and so that they could eliminate paper. Well, he came to me and he personally told me that the tax office manager, who I was her assistant, thought I was trying to take her job, so that when tax season ended, she no longer had use for me. Now, when tax ended season, you still need to work in the tax office because you have to gather up all those tax those tax that you prepare and get them filed properly. Any errors that you have to deal with the IRS. But anyway, she decided she didn't want me, and he candidly told me she felt I was trying to take her job. So I get booted out of the corporate environment. And I've been in corporate before because I retired from Enterprise Rent-A-Car Company in corporate in St. Louis. So let's fast forward. So then I get relocated by my children. They relocate me. And so now I'm currently relocated to Arlington. I got into the security business, which I met a friend. And I always loved Brenda. I was putting in an application with one of the security companies, and we just started talking. And at this time, I didn't have my car any longer. I didn't have a car at that time. And Brenda and I just kind of took to each other. So we applied and interviewed at a security company. We both got hired. And then we both got hired at AT&T. So she was my partner, my buddy. And I did that for a couple of years. We did that a couple of years. We traveled to different states doing security. We did security locally in Dallas, Houston, Oklahoma City. So I was really excited, and Brenda was the one that was my support system because she would come and get me and make sure that I was able to report to my post. So I didn't want to be a burden on her. So in the area that my children placed me in, I was pretty blessed because we're right in the entertainment district. And so I literally, if I had to, I could walk to AT&T. So then I forgot. Now, I've always worked since I've been in Texas. So I was working at Dollar Tree in Irving. And the manager over there was gracious enough to transfer me. So I was working multiple jobs. I was working like 2-3 jobs, trying to get myself back situated where I could have independence. Because I lost everything in St. Louis. Everything I had. 2 houses. I lost all my businesses. I lost everything. Along with losing my son. So coming to Texas was trying to start over. So let me forward. So here I am in security. We're working and life is pretty good. So then I get an opportunity, and I was working Dollar Tree. I forgot that too. So then I decided that I would apply at DD's, which is right next to Dollar Tree in Arlington. And this is my first time, guys, working in this type of retail. So I catch on pretty good. Not tooting my own horn, but I'm humble. And even though I've always had certifications, I've got a degree in early childhood education, I've never been so big and so grand that any job was below me, because I have to take care of myself. That's in my mind. I've always worked, and I've always been independent. My parents instilled that in me. I've been working since I was old enough to work. But anyway, I get this job at Dollar Tree and I'm working at DD's side by side. And the reason why I'm doing that is because in Texas, they have a system where they cap your hours, meaning that you only work so many hours and then that's it. And I've never seen that system before. So with that being said, you have to work multiple jobs just to be able to pay your bills. So I'm working between Dollar Tree, and I have allergies. I'm working between Dollar Tree and DD's. So the store manager and so COVID hit. Now I continue to work at Dollar Tree because they are considered an essential. So I was an essential worker. DD's shut down because they're not essential. And we were told that we were going to be on furlough. So I still work Dollar Tree part-time, but I'm supposed to be getting furlough unemployment from DD's, and that never happened because the manager that hired me and onboarded me, the assistant manager, didn't put my information in correct in the system. And Jessica was her name. She listed me as an undocumented worker. And I am not an immigrant. I was born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri at number 1 City Hospital. I am of Black Cherokee Indian descent, but my parents were United States citizens, and I had a birth certificate and driver's license to verify that. But because she entered me in as an undocumented worker, TWC, Texas Workforce, would never grant my unemployment. I went through 2-3 years going back and forth with them trying to get my unemployment from the furlough, and it never happened. I contacted the EEOC and I spent hours of online documentations telling them the issues that I was having with DD's, and because it was during COVID, I never got a response. So here I am. I'm just working this little part-time job at Dollar Tree trying to make ends meet. So DD's opens back up, and the store manager offers me a promotion while they were shut down. And I accepted it because anytime I'm going to get promoted and make a few pennies more, and then it also afforded me a certification. I got certified in loss prevention, a safety specialist in OSHA. So I accepted it, and so when DD's opened back up, I was no longer a recovery person. I had been promoted to loss prevention specialist, and I do have certifications on file for that. Well, Jessica, the assistant manager, and a couple of the other assistant managers, they did not like that. They had an issue with that. And me being new in this area, it took me a minute to figure out why they had an issue with that. Anytime managers are doing something that's illegal in the store, or they stealing or whatever, they pick at the person that's over loss prevention. And when I say I got bullied in the most horrible way. I mean, she bullied me all the time. And I expressed it to the store manager, but he did nothing about that. So I contacted EEOC and I started documenting that. People, I have been documenting EEOC and reaching out for lawyers the past 4 years, really, and dealing with Texas Workforce. So I'm a person that does documentation. And so I contacted EEOC. I told them I was being discriminated against because of my age, because references were made about my age and my hair, because my hair is locked. And so I never got to speak with anybody on the phone with EEOC. I did connect with one of the digital operators at EEOC, and because I have this background in this computer operations, they helped me a lot. So I was able to email with somebody. I don't even know what the person looked like, but they did open up the door for me to email and make documentations and everything. So finally, after I get released from well, it was a combination of things of why I got released from Dee Dee's. The Dee Dee's managers start communicating with the Dollar Tree managers, and once they found out I was working over there, they got together. Dollar Tree took me off schedule, and Dee Dee's, they said that the loss prevention program had ended, so they let me go. They kept me till like the first of the year, let me go. And so I went to EEOC and told them, and they withheld my pay. So I had to just go through some changes just to get my final paycheck. And to know that they were stealing, they took my final paycheck out of petty cash. They really mishandled me really bad. And so I'm communicating with EEOC. I got case numbers, everything. So then that broke me down. That really hurt me because I never ever experienced anything to that magnitude in the workplace. And you know, Texas, they can let you go for anything. If you got a manager that don't like what you have on for the day, they can tell you go home and it's a wrap. So I'm kind of fighting a losing battle. So then I decide I'll go, and now I worked at the stadium over there at AT&T, but people don't realize that AT&T is just a weekend job. If they have events or something going on, then that's how you earn your money. I did get the opportunity because we were so good at our security. We were blessed, and we got to work at Frisco directly at the Star, directly with the Cowboys. I got an opportunity to be on the floor when they were training or whatever, but that's way in Frisco, which is quite a distance for me because I did not have a car. And at that time, I don't know if Brenda was part of that security team. She was, but I think something else happened with her family where she was no longer able to transport out there. So Frisco would have been an awesome opportunity for us because it's a more upscale city, and you know, the people there are kind of on a different level, let's say that. But anyhow, I go and apply at Burlington Stores, and he hires me right on the spot, store manager over there. He's so excited that he's got somebody that has my credentials, because I could tell he really didn't know a lot about loss prevention, but he was given a grant. He was given the money to have one in his store. So here I am at Burlington, and we're doing awesome. You know, I'm doing my job. My store manager doesn't know too much about my job or what I do, but because at this point in my career, I'm like at a managerial level. And being that he didn't know what to do, he should have had me at the managerial level. But anyway, I perform my duties. We help to curtail risk management. My customers fell in love with me because, you know, I got that customer service background. And so for about a couple years, everything was good. So he decides to hire this assistant manager by the name of Michelle. Now, he already had an assistant manager, Crystal, and then he hired another assistant manager, Ariana, and then he hires this Michelle. Well, I don't know what is wrong with her, but she came from Dee Dee's. So she has their way of handling people. Dee Dee's is a beast on its own, the people. Just how they handle customers and how they treat people. And so the three assistant managers start cutting my hours. They start playing with my hours. And finally, derogatory statements were made toward me. My hours got cut. I think I was pulling at least 30 hours in Ross. I'm sorry, in Burlington. But when these managers start bullying, I would go in, I'd be on the schedule, but when I go in, I'm off the schedule. That kind of stuff was going on. So I contacted the EEOC. And I'm steady documenting to the EEOC, trying to find an attorney, trying to get somebody online at EEOC, trying to navigate through Texas workforce, fighting, trying to get my unemployment. I'm doing all this stuff and still trying to hold a job, maintain work. And so finally Crystal left, and she took Ariana with her. They went to a Burlington that was in a more not urban area, what do you call it, where it was like a predominantly white area. So here, this Michelle is here. Now, one of the duties of loss prevention is that when the store closes, it's supposed to be the closing manager, which was Michelle, a lead cashier, which was Bree, and then myself. I'm supposed to make sure that the cash office is secure. Michelle counts the money, and Bree is there to finish up whatever's in the store. And then they had another person that stayed, Miss I can't think of what was her name. She was a recovery person. That's a shame. The little lady was so sweet. I can't think of her name anyway. But all of a sudden, when Michelle comes on board, she tells the store manager, Michael, she no longer wants me when the store closed. That's a red flag, because loss prevention should be the last person walking out, locking the doors. And Michael went with it. So he cut my hours some more, 30. He cut my hours where I didn't help close the store. So I'm just like, at this time, guys, now this is enough hell for anybody to go through who has not done anything wrong. Now, I've got documentation to support everything that I'm saying. I reached out to the civil rights office while I was trying to get help from TWC, Texas Workforce Commission. None of these agencies ever responded to me. None of them. Nobody responded. Nobody. Because nobody was in their office. Everybody at home chilling. Which I have to agree with President Trump. They all was chilling. Nobody helped me. And so then I meet another person who is my support system, who tells me that how she is a businesswoman and how she makes her money. And so you can't usually get into Knickknacks Antique Mall unless a friend brings you in. Well, it's to their adventure. It's to their what's the word I'm looking for? Advantage to bring in somebody, because that cuts money off of their rental booth. They got a lot of stuff going on in there that I've never really seen before. So, so Miss Peggy is the person that I met, and she gets me into knickknacks because I got to figure out a way to make some kind of income. My family is looking at me like I'm 10 carats crazy because they can't understand what I'm going through. I'm not really communicating with them what I'm going through, because it's unbelievable that I'm being handled and treated like this in Texas. So I start a little selling in knickknacks. I started out small. I didn't really have a lot. And Miss Peggy, as I said, she was my support system. Well, I started off with a little bitty space, guys. And then by the grace of God, I've grown to my little store, which is an end cap, That's where I am now. Now, the first year there was heaven, and the second year, things started changing. I don't know why. Well, one reason was because I mentioned about ADA regulations and how the aisles and things should be for customers coming through with walkers and wheelchairs. And the space that I was referring to was a vendor right across from me, which was violating my space. I was only given like it was about 3 feet between my space and the other vendor space. And the owner, she didn't like it. And her and the lead manager, now she's the lead manager, Roberta, they started bullying me. I had product that was in my store, because I make a hair oil for your edges, a hair growth, and that product I sold that product for like 2 years, but Roberta noticed it and they took my product off the shelf. I had the black tea and the green tea. I started putting it in little packs because everybody probably, did not want to start it off the large containers that I have. And then they took that down. Now my problem is that I'm paying you rent, and I'm just a phone call away if there's an issue or something going on. I just couldn't go with you just come in my space I'm paying rent for and just remove my products. Sometimes I come in, my store be damaged, things will be knocked down, and I'm right up there in the front by the register, but the vendor across from me will put these big old giant pieces of furniture up so that you really couldn't see from the register, which was a safety and a fire issue. And I failed. That's where I failed. He put a big, massive California king bed right in front of the store, right in front of my space. And I was giving a customer some tea. I didn't know that the frame was so close. It was maybe about 3 to 4 feet away from my store or my space. And I flipped and fell. I hit the ground. And instead of Roberta, the manager, coming over to me to see if I was okay, did I need an ambulance, she ran back there and told Miss Peggy I fell. Nobody wrote an incident report. Nobody, and I was in shock. And I was embarrassed because the store was full of people. And so I jumped up and licked my wounds. So Roberta never wrote an incident report, nothing. So Miss Peggy took me home. Now, mind you, people think differently. She never offered me the emergency room either. She took me straight home. And, so I kind of licked my wounds. I was embarrassed for a couple of weeks. And then my former co-worker, Cece, said, come on, Miss Dale. I asked her to take me to the emergency room, and she did take me. We had an issue finding somebody that would see me because of the type of insurance that I have, but she finally ended up taking me to ER, and they did x-rays. I fell on my arm, my left side, so my back arm was swollen, my neck got jolted, my back, my left shoulder, so I was in a lot of pain. Now, I emailed the owner, Richard. I emailed him. And I told him in details, like I just told you guys, what happened, and that she didn't fill out the incident report or whatever. So he sends me the incident form to fill out. And usually the manager is supposed to do that. And he tells me that they're gonna fill out one, and I email him back and say, well, when I say they, I'm talking about the assistant in there as well. Well, they couldn't fill out anything because they heard me fall, but they actually didn't see the fall. Okay, and so this form he sent me, I didn't fill that form out because that's not how the procedure goes. Meanwhile, I'm still reaching out at lawyers. I reached out at SMU legal clinic. I've been documenting and sending them documentation for the last, I guess, 2 or 3 years. Because you see, I got all these other issues. I reached out to the Texas law. I think it's called Texas law. No help. I reached out to Benjamin Crump's law office because he says that he's the champion fighter and that he helps with slip and falls. No help. Oh, let me rewind. I forgot to tell you guys, when I finally got a hearing with TWC, Texas Workforce, about how Burlington handled me. Burlington never appeared. We had a phone hearing in front of the what they call it, the tribunal, and we had a phone conference. They didn't show up for the first hearing. Burlington, no, they did not show up. They presented documents to Texas Workforce Commission which were not true. So she continued it. She did a continuance, the judge, to give them a time to come and respond to what my concerns and what my claims were. Well, they did not show up for the second hearing. And after I went through all of that, she's going to tell me the time ran out, statute of limitations. So I didn't get any resolve or recourse for Burlington because, oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I got fired at Burlington for going to the restroom. I went to the restroom, and I'm like in my, I'm a woman of senior, and I went to the restroom. We share a public restroom with the customers, so I have to wait for customers to come out, and then I have to go in and clean it before I can use it. And Michelle decided, I don't know what was going on with her that day, but she started cussing me out and talking crazy. And then she called the store manager on the phone. I don't know what she told him. I have video to support all of this. And I told the lead cashier, Brianna, that I was going to the restroom. She said she forgot to tell Michelle, which Michelle is not my supervisor. She's a floor supervisor. She don't do nothing but push clothes. She's supposed to straighten up the floor. My direct supervisor is the store manager, who was not there. And so Michelle calls the assistant manager, Jamie, at that time, and he calls and asks me what's going on. He tells me to go back to work, have a good weekend. Well, Michelle didn't like that, so she called Michael, store manager. I never got a chance to talk with Michael. All I was told to do was clock out, and I asked, was I being asked to clock out because I went to the restroom? That's all I kept asking. So fast forward. So this is all the hell that I've been through in Texas, but thank God I'm still in my right mind and I'm still holding on. So we're at Knickknacks now. Now Duncanville, ooh, it's like Mayberry. It's a quaint little town. And you have a lot of people of color out there trying to start businesses. So I'm so excited about that. I want everybody to be successful, but it's cool when you see people that look like me trying to start a businesses. So in that strip where we are, everybody's trying to make it, but the owners of Knickknack, they are, what's that book we read? The Richest Man in Babylon. Because he has a system set up in there where he's going to make his money regardless, even if the vendors are struggling. Remember, that book. You need to read that book, The Richest Man of Babylon. because no matter what goes on with us, the vendors, he got a system in there. He gonna get his money regardless. He charges me for the internet. I don't even know if other vendors. Well, Miss Peggy say she don't pay for internet. So that's what's going on in there. So anyway, I got so much, guys. I know I'm saying a lot, but I'm just trying to give you guys a picture of what's been going on. So all these agencies that they have in place, nobody has helped me. Nobody. No, not one agency. So you guys know that now I'm an ambassador for Avon. So you have to have an ambassador bring you in Avon, or you have to find an ambassador in order to get into Avon. And so we already have an Avon rep in the store. And she's my ambassador. She's my mentor. So they let her know that she was my mentor. And so I went to her and I told her, listen, you're my mentee now. I want to advertise Avon in my space. I understand that you are the Avon rep in here, but because I'm on your team, I would like to be able to advertise, because I'm trying to do this fundraiser for the Augies little football team. So if I can advertise, a lot of my customers are online, and my mentor customers, she's old school. Her customers are, face to face. And she was excited. She said, oh, wow, no problem. That's cool, It'll be able to, of course, it'll boost her business, because if I make money from Avon, she's going to make money. So she went to Roberta and asked her, could I do advertisement from my store? And when I say advertisement, just because I give away free bags to my customers. I'm always giving away something to them to show them I appreciate them purchasing from me, because they don't have to buy anything from me. But I know I got some good products, and I stand on my products, and I have customers that stand on my products as well. But anyhow, she went to them and asked them, could I do a little advertising? And they told her no. So I can't hang bags up in my rental space, Avon bags. And she came to me looking pretty bewildered, because she's not African American like me, guys. And so, and the reason why I'm referring to race and color, because that's how they operate in there. I was raised, my dad didn't teach us color. We were raised, we interact with everybody back home in St. Louis. We were at the Mexican the Latino festivals. We partied with the Germans in Strassenfest. I've just been exposed to everybody. So I'm only bringing up race because that's how they operate in there. And so she couldn't understand why they were telling her no. And so I told her, I said, well, maybe you give it a few weeks or whatever and go back and ask them again. So that's tying my hands. I'm not getting a lot of response for the Avon, because they won't allow me to advertise from my rental space. I'm trying to see if I'm thinking of this is going to be a book, guys. This is going to have to be a book. So after I fell in there, I had this lawyer solicit to me and draw up contract and everything. So Richard, the owner, he decides that he's going to reprimand me in the store in front of customers and his employees. So he pulls this little note out of his pocket. We're standing in front of my space. And he tells me the concerns that people have with me. Now, this is all hearsay, but Roberta has the issue of me interacting with customers They even went as far as lying and saying that I chased customers out of the store. That's a lie. What else did he have to say? That was their main thing. That's because my sales are great. Because out there, in order for me to really, really make good money, I have to physically be there. Of course, I don't mind doing that. Customers like when you interact with them one-on-one and let them test out samples and give them gift bags. And I mean, customers love that. And Roberta didn't like it because she's an employee in there who's actually a vendor, which is a conflict of business. And that's how they operate in there. So not only do I have to compete against the other vendors in the store, now I got to compete about the cashier, the store manager, who I'm paying 8% commission to. Does that make sense to you? They take 8% commission from me. But she got a booth in there as well. So all of these systematic practices that people do, you know, we need to, as people of color, we need to pay attention more, shut our mouths, and just pay attention more. And so while all this is going on now, remember Miss Peggy is the one that brought me in here. She's looking the other way. She's not getting involved. She's looking the other way. She don't know nothing. Half the time, she don't know what's on my end cap, what's going on. But you brought me in here. But okay, that's neither here or there. That's what people do. People do what they do. So that's where I am right now in this space. God has been absolutely good to me that I am in my right mind, because I have gone through hell since I've been in Texas, and I've done nothing wrong, nothing at all. Thank God for my children, that they had enough humility and love for their mom to try to be my support system, because I could have lost my mind the way I've been handled here. But I'm in my right mind, and God is still providing and making a way. But all these different agencies and all this, it's just crap, because nobody's doing anything. I'm still looking for an attorney. Attorney Ben Crump's office said he could not help me, but I think probably on my employment issues, the statute of limitation has ran out. It's coming close to the statute of limitation running out on my file. The only thing the lawyers are saying is contact the Bar Association. I just need to be compensated for my file. And I told him, I said, I failed. You didn't even offer me anything. You guys are bullying me in here. And people are saying, he said, well, I'm sorry that you feel that way. His wife did some awful things. I mean, it was just crazy. I can't believe that grown-ups act like that. I still haven't gotten that resolved. And people say, well, why don't you leave? Well, some money is better than no money. But I would like fair play, fair trade. And I mean, I'm not solely the only person that's going through this, but because I'm a Missourian, I guess, you know, I'm looking at this and saying this is not right. If you need to pay your rent and you can't physically go in, there's a fee for that. I'm paying for internet that I don't get to use. I pay $7 a month for their Wi-Fi. Whether you make sales or not, you still got to pay that rent you're paying. But I got to compete against employees as far as being vendors, because if you're an employee and you're a vendor, you're going to steer customers to your space and to your favorite vendor's space, which is what they do in there. So I need some help from somebody. I just want fair trade. I don't want to stand above anybody. I just want to fit in a community that's trying to grow. Duncanville claims that they want to grow and that they're trying to expand, but you're not expanding because of, oh Lord, I think this is just my opinion. There's no expansion because black folk don't run businesses like other cultures. Other cultures, when they're in a business together, they network together, they're friendly with one another, they buy from each other, and black people don't do that. They like being on the receiving end. I bought, when I first moved out there, I patronized Smokey D. He has yet to patronize me that I know of. Let me take that back. I scratched that because when I'm not there, I don't know who's patronizing me. I went over to Day Drinks. I patronized her. So my people, my brothers and sisters, in order for us to grow out there in Duncanville, we have to be together and help each other, support each other. Spend your money with black, because other ethnic groups, they support one another. We have Latino vendors in there. Knickknacks is very diverse, and I just sit back and I watch the Latino community. They come in there and they support their Latino vendors. We have vendors from Asian. They come and support their people. So I just want to put that out there. In order for us to grow, we have to spend our money with each other. It can't be one-sided. And customer service is important too. It's important for us to know how to treat people that buy from us. We need to have someone that is energetic and know about the product in order for us to sell and for sales to go up. And we have to support each other. So that's part of my story. I didn't go into all of the details because I needed to do litigation with Dollar Tree. They lied on and got me jammed up in some crap I wasn't involved in, and it's just craziness. But that's what it is. So I'm gonna put this on the public comment page. If anybody has any comments or anything, please let me, comment. Start commenting. And all right, thank you guys for listening. Peace.